Oh my god. Who throws a grenade right there? Wait, I'm fucking... My whole fucking screen is shaking, man! What the fuck? Damn, it was like What the fuck did my gun do? I'm not understanding. What the fuck just happened? My gun just fell into a different fucking dimension. So I saw this in Sprat's video yesterday. He's been using this swap class. I think he uploaded it yesterday, maybe the day before, I can't remember. But he made this swap class here where you go from an AX50 to a Kar 98 secondary. I think I'm just gonna run around with this the majority of the day, and yeah, fuck it, see how that goes. Got the Overkill Ghost amped. I very rarely actually change Ghost into anything else. There's basically nothing that competes with it. They decided they didn't want to try to move any of the perks around when they did it, so it's just we thought that like in the beginning we would have a bit more of an effect on things, like just talking and complaining and talking about balance type of shit, but they got their own vision and whatever the fuck, so they decided, hey, we're gonna leave Ghost in this category that's literally head and shoulders above every single other perk in its category. So Ghost is just there. The only one that I even find slightly useful is High Alert / Point Man Kill Chain, but those ones are all like tiers below Ghost. So restock is kind of like, I know some people use restock if you're like big camping and shit like that, or trying to go for streaks and, you know, running around with your ammo crate with that and everything. I get it, but Ghost is just the best. It just is. That's why most people use it. So we got Overkill in order to have both of those sniper rifles, or marksman rifle and sniper rifle. Then we just have amped on, so we're able to swap between them much faster. If we were to go around and run around with something like Battle Hardened tune-up, Tracker even, the swap between the two of them would just not be fast enough at all. So, Gunsmith here, this is what I'm going with at the moment for my AX50. You can swap out the perk into, from Sleight of Hand to Focus, or take the perk off of it completely and put on the 7-round mag. I change it around every once in a while, and maybe even game to game I'll change it. Anyway, going into the secondary, we got the Kar 98. Back laser, Sport Comb, Sleight of Hand, and Stippled Grip Tape. It is still the fastest version of the Kar 98 here. Muzzles for sniper rifles just aren't really worth it. Underbarrel bipods just kind of, it doesn't really matter. Tac laser is probably the best attachment for sniper rifles next to the rear grip. Stock is just nice. Some people run the longer barrel on it. If you're trying to play on bigger, longer maps and shit like that, it definitely makes sense, but it's really not that great. Over a certain distance, you can't land a one-shot regardless unless you're hitting them in the head. So the barrel's kind of, it's a little redundant at times, or at least you don't get to use its effectiveness all the time. So most of the time I would be running the regular sniper rifle scope on this, but since we're going to be running around with the default scope for the AX50, it zooms in a bit more than what the Kar 98 sniper scope does. So I decided, hey, I'm going to put the variable zoom on and just adjust that way. I could, you know, deal with the different swapping zooms and shit like that, but if both of the zooms are the same, then, you know, it'll be much easier and a lot less jarring whenever I swap them. So today's January 31st. It's Ari's birthday, actually. Ari's 4 years old now. When Alexis posted that picture of Ari sitting there and said it was 4 years, there were people that were like, dude, there is no fucking way it's been 4 years since you got Ari. It hasn't been exactly 4 years since we got her. This was her birthday. So we're celebrating with that, all the treats in the world, you know, the best pup. I hate how the reticle swaps back. I wish I could just set a default reticle. Can we do that one, Joe? Anything? Ashton? David? Guys? Same thing with like all the red dots and shit like that. Like you should be allowed to just set a default one. She was what, 3 months old or whatever when we got her? So in April, I think. Oh, also speaking of April, dude, I might go to that fucking UFC, Tony Ferguson Khabib. It's right in Brooklyn, New York, so it's not, you know, some crazy fucking thing where you gotta travel multiple states and shit like that. I hate that. I have literally given up money and decided to not even live in a fucking mansion because I don't want to travel. I don't want to travel. Fuck that shit. Usually when I get to wherever I'm going, it's great, you know what I'm saying? All right, so zoom. The zoom is still a little off, so maybe I'm better off just... Dude, I had just spawned out in the middle of the open field. What the fuck are you doing? Relax. It's a pub match, man. Relax. Go to sleep. Fuck, is this guy being abducted or some shit? I killed the guy and through his microphone, it sounded like he was gonna get probed at any moment. This is gonna sound fucked up, but when I was a kid, I used to play a bunch of Destroy All Humans, and the anal probe weapon that we ended up having was probably one of my favorite things to use. I'm not gonna, hey, I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and blame that for my my ass fascinations, but it is what it is. The anal probe was crazy on Destroy All Humans. It would literally hit people in the ass and then their head would randomly explode after they fell over. I hate crossing the street on this fucking map. Those memes that were all made within like the first week of Modern Warfare are still relevant to this day. Trying to cross the street on this game is death guaranteed. I do like the look of the variable zoom scope though. I like how it looks slightly different from the regular one. Wait, he's still laying in there. It's gone! The hard point moved! Dude, stop making call-outs. It's pubs. You know why people go and make montages and shit? Like, come on now. There's no reason to sit over there in that fucking trench because people just sit in like 8 different windows and just shoot down at you. I don't know, this map plays amazing sometimes, and then other times it's just like one of the most poorly designed maps I've ever seen in my fucking life. At least it plays like it. That's just how this game kind of goes. Damn, we lost. Really wish we could have won that 100 grand that was on the line. I'm not saying people can't try hard. I'm tired of sweating, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you go to the gym, how would you feel to have somebody over your shoulder constantly talking to you about how you gotta have your new personal best every single fucking day? You are maxing every single day. That's just not how you work out. It's just stupid. It's unhealthy. If you're a pro player, fine. If you're a fucking professional and your profession is to sit there and fucking bench press as much weight as possible, aka sweat and win as much as possible, fine. I have 0 kills right now. I'm not even going for kills, but oh, sorry, buddy. So if you stand on this, it's gonna allow me to mount against this, but it like what the fuck? Now, I used to do some things in my free time back on like Modern Warfare 2 where it was really strange. Man, Modern Warfare 2 was such a crazy game when you think about it because there were so many different styles of play on that game. And I guess it's still the same case for each and every single Call of Duty, but I mean viable play styles. Like, there were knifers, there were snipers, there were marathon snipers, there were knifers that refused to use commando, there were people that just straight up sat around and boosted all day, there were other people that sat around and killed said boosters, there were people that went for their nukes, there were people that like did the sweatiest things, there were people that did like weird class setups and shit like that. Sure, that's just like the general game, right? But in that game, it just felt like everything kind of had an identity, if that made sense. Maybe a pro can, you know, make some sort of a conversation about that or some shit, but is this not like one of the easiest games to red gun? Like, seriously. Because I feel like I snap on the targets on this game a lot easier than I did on other games. Not for sniping, like specifically for red guns. It seems like maybe it's the way that the guns bounce, maybe it's the way that the recoil is on this game, or maybe it's just the time to kill. I've just had so many more moments in just these few months than I did on the other games. And I would argue I was more effective on the other games, but
UAV entering the AO.
I just don't understand the mindset. You're losing. Not a single one of the people on your team is pressed up through mid. Why are you do you not understand? Like, it's not just a regular complaint. They are literally in the incorrect position looking at the incorrect area. It catches me off guard so fucking bad. It's like going into a boxing match and a dude figured out an entire arsenal of moves to use his fucking dick on you with. How are you supposed to prep for that? How am I supposed to know that this dude, he's just unpredictable as fuck? It's just unpredictable, but it's not like calculated unpredictability. It's like fucking, I just don't know what they're doing, and I don't know how to follow because of how weird it is. If and when I do go to that fucking UFC, I mean, I ain't gonna lie though, in April, that Khabib-Tony fight, probably the most hyped I've been in a long fucking time. I really, really want to see how that fight goes. I really do. I do want Tony to win, just for the sake of shaking up the entire fucking world again. Stylistically, everybody is beatable, you know? It's all matchups. Like, people swear up and down, like, if you beat the best fighter in the world, you are automatically the best. You can't be beaten. Nothing changes whatsoever. Sports math is a thing. Like, Team A beat Team B, but Team B beat Team A, so that means that Team... You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work like that. It's already been proven repeatedly. You call them upsets and all this other shit, but I mean, somebody is more favored to win more often than the other every single contest. I just want to see how the fuck Khabib would deal with somebody. And it's not like this crazy power wrestling. It's like this wrestling where he grabs onto you and hangs on to you until you're driven down into the ground, and then he pounds you into a fucking dust. You don't see him doing like these big power double leg takedowns and giant slams and shit like that. He has some, you know what I'm saying? He's a wrestler, but like his main thing is getting up to people, grabbing a hold of one leg, working them towards the fence, and then just working them into the ground and then not allowing them to be able to get back up. Very few people have been able to get the fuck back up. The thing is, Tony likes being on his back, and it's not like he's going to offer to be on his back, but Tony is dangerous. And I know that they say that about everybody, but imagine this. Imagine being Khabib, and everybody that you take down, you know, once you take down, you basically got this shit in the bag. Obviously, he doesn't think exactly like that, but, you know, oh, I've finished, you know, some odd amount of fights this way before. I'm just gonna, you know, do what I gotta do. This is what he does. This is his strategy. This is just how he operates. This is how he fights. But then imagine when you finally take people down and shit, this guy has this counter to you to where he's dangerous in his guard, and yes, wrestling nullifies a lot of submission attempts and shit like that, but it's not just that. The guy is fucking crazy. He's weird, he does unorthodox shit, he has lunchboxes for fucking fists, and his elbows are incredibly dangerous from the bottom. If Khabib gets on top of him and is some way at any point postures up, or maybe even then Tony's got some slick little shit, if he just throws one good elbow in there and slices Khabib open, and there's a possible doctor stoppage as well. I'm just saying, I know it's like picking at straws and shit like that, hoping for a doctor stoppage, because nobody wants that. But I'm just saying, Khabib has a lot more to fucking worry about. I'm not saying it's guaranteed that he's gonna lose. I still think it's more likely that Khabib will win. I'm just saying it would be really cool to see that kind of like just event happen. Rematches and shit. Like we're gonna be able to see like god tier shit. I'm just fucking excited as a fan. Okay. Fuck you. Fuck sniping. Fuck! You're dog shit! I guess in real life, when you both run around the corner and dump at least 4 bullets into each other, one of them always walks away. Play the game, baby. Here we go. Run around, shoot all of them, shoot and shit down. KILLCAM still don't work all the way.